Happy to get back in the win column. I think this game served its purpose of what we needed. Coming off of Christmas and coming off a much-needed break for our players and our staff to, have an opportunity to kind of shake some of the rust off and get everybody involved, because obviously there's not a ton of games throughout the season that everybody gets a chance to get in there and play, and so really excited for some guys to, especially our walk-ons who got to get in there and get some minutes that they really deserve. But I thought we did some good things tonight. I thought especially in the first 15 minutes we were hooked up defensively like we're going to need to be moving forward, and sharing the ball, obviously shot it well. And so getting some confidence going back offensively, seeing the ball go in, and really just kind of, really making the right plays is going to be an important thing for us. Didn't feel like the last 25 minutes we defended like we're going to need to moving forward, and it's typically the challenge when you play these types of games is, we talk about the standard all the time, right? The standard is what it is, and so can you hold yourself and hold your teammates to the standard at which you practice every single day, despite the score, despite the opponent that you're playing, because obviously the opponents moving forward are going to be significantly more difficult.
You talk about getting kind of what you needed out of this one. Beyond getting some minutes for different guys, maybe playing different combinations, like what was maybe the biggest key to getting this one and being able to knock some of that rust off, like you said?
Yeah, I think seeing the ball go in, right, and getting guys out there and playing off of one another. We didn't run a whole lot of our stuff here tonight, and it's kind of by design, because you want to put some stuff in conceptually and allow them to be able to gain some confidence in being able to do that. And so, because moving forward, once you do get into league play, everybody's good, right? Everybody watches, everybody scouts, and you become so familiar with your opponents that you can't be incredibly reliant upon the same sets over and over and over. And so this was an important game for us to be able to come out and work on and practice some things that are, when a play breaks down, right, or you're playing against a good team that's done a nice job of blowing up some of the things that you have scored on throughout the year, can you default into some new things? And so that was a real positive that we were able to take away from this one as well.
And I guess when you talk about getting some guys playing extra minutes or playing together, first off, is EB okay? You expect to have him back later this week? Or?
We do, yeah. Probably could have played tonight, went through warm-ups, just kind of a risk-reward, right? Felt like this was a game that we could probably win without him and get some other guys some experience in those areas that I'd mentioned, and kind of reserve him for the rest of the week.
Yeah, and then related to that, you get, Luke some more minutes at the 5, and Red gets to play with, some guys he hasn't played a lot of minutes with this year. Noah comes back. How key are all those things, like as far as trying to just get back to the kind of rotation you had early?
Yeah, without question, that those things are extremely important. I think Luke is being able to carve out a role for himself at 2 different positions, and obviously getting more minutes at that 5 position here tonight with EB's absence. But he gives us something different, right? He provides us a spark in that way and allows us to play a little bit differently, which is important. It's always great if we can get the young guys minutes, right? So Red getting those minutes had been hard to come by for him to get those, and so thought he did a good job when he was in there with some things that are going to prove to be important moving forward. And then Noah coming off of his injury as well, was able to get in practice the last couple of days, and we knew he'd kind of be able to just give us a few minutes here and there. But it's important to jump out there and get that flow of the game, especially because he's a guy we think is going to help us as we get into league play.
Going into a game of this nature, there are some things you can do deliberately more so than you can in some other ball games. Can you share with us some of those concepts that you wanted to be very deliberate with, X number of passes, get it into the paint, that you wanted to do, particularly to establish this game in particular?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a number of passes thing, right? I think we talk a lot about reading the ball, right? If you got a guy that playing off of one another, and I think just this is the type of game that allows you from a conceptual standpoint. You got certain guys that are better playing in ball screens, certain guys that are better cutting and going on what we call drops and things like that. And so put our guys in situations where they can read that and play off of one another instead of it being so scripted. And that's important, because, again, as you get going throughout the year, you oftentimes talk about the play after the play, right? What are guys going to do when the play breaks down? or sometimes, what do you do when you do get stops and you're playing against another quality team that doesn't allow you to play in transition? How do you flow into your offense, right, to where everybody's on the same page and you know what you're trying to get accomplished? You look at 50 points in the paint here tonight. That's obviously a huge number, and rightfully so against a smaller team like this. But I think you look back to when we played George Mason a few weeks ago, and we're taking 43s and not getting to the free throw line. We're not getting our paint touch count up where it needs to be. We've certainly made a lot of strides in that area. Are we going to get 50 points in the paint every night? Probably not. But in relation to who we're playing, I think we're certainly moving in the right direction with that.
What other trends are you seeing with this team that you like going into what is now going to be this Sun Belt Gauntlet?
Our offensive rebound percentage is a really important one, right? I think we had 4 offensive rebounds on 11 missed shots. Again, that's a very skewed number, right, because of how well we were able to shoot it against this particular team here tonight. But that's almost 40%, and that's a great number that we want to get to. Did we sustain it throughout the rest of the game? Probably not, but it's something that we certainly can point to. And I think we do a really good job rebounding our threes, and obviously putting up a good number of those here tonight, and I'm okay with that. If we take 33s in a game, that's a strength of ours. Our three-point shooting and our offensive rebounding are two areas that I feel like we can compete at the top of the league with. So we got to continue to just be mindful of taking the right threes, the right guys taking them, and everybody competing on the glass to make sure that we're getting an efficient number of those.
Are you getting the ball inside enough to open up these outside shooters?
We're certainly trying. We're getting the ball. Elijah getting a lot of touches here tonight, and going 5 of 10. Would like to see him go 8 for 10, to be honest with you, in a game like this. But given that the attention that we need, and I think our wings got to do a better job of scoring some of our paint touches. I think they're doing a better job of being selective with their outside shooting. They're driving the ball. They're getting to 2 feet. We just got to finish through some contact, and it's not going to be easier as we move forward. And so that's something that we've certainly got to give the attention to. And, of course, that opens everything up from there.